$10,000 a month, otherwise known as the standard American dream. Getting to this coveted six-figure income is what a lot of people strive for. And with the rise of online businesses and social media taking off, it makes it seem easier than ever. Really choose the path that you want to go on in life, leading to essentially ultimate freedom. But I'm sure, as you know, there's millions of videos online saying this is the best side hustle, try crypto, try Forex, dropshipping, wholesaling, YouTube automation. It's essentially endless, but what's the most realistic path to actually achieve $10,000 profit a month? Well, I'm here to fill up that little hustle car of yours with gas, plugging in $10,000 a month on the GPS, and then hit cruise control. It's a weird analogy, but what I'm basically saying is I'm gonna lay out the exact plan of how to get to $10,000 profit a month. And as a reminder, this is all from your laptop, so you can do it anywhere you want. But as a quick disclaimer, there are so many different routes you can take to get to this coveted six-figure income, but the advice and the plan that I'm gonna give you is what I've seen personally work for me and I have firsthand experience in. Like before any of my online businesses, I was already headed towards that six-figure income. I was working in supply chain, making $98,000 a year, just shy of that 100K mark. But what I absolutely hated was that I was working for myself and my salary was essentially capped, so how hard I worked didn't really equate to the money that I was making. That entrepreneurial spirit really led me in the path that I'm on now and put me in the position that I'm in. And if you're watching this video, I'm sure you're in the same boat and you're headed that way as well. So congrats to future you, because by watching this video, you're already taking the step that 99% of other people will not be doing. But before we get into the exact plan of how to achieve that 10K a month, let's do the giveaway. So for the giveaway of this video, since you guys love it so much, I'm going to be giving away a custom-built Shopify website made by me and my team at Ecom Remastered. This complete, ready-to-go website is built on a custom premium theme, and it has 10 products already loaded onto it. So if you're wanting to start e-commerce or dropshipping, you can really hit the ground running and skip over all that BS of learning how to make a website and make it converting. And here's all you got to do to enter. You have to leave a like on this video, hit the subscribe button, and then leave a comment down below. The comment can be anything at all. It can be maybe your favorite side hustle or what your New Year's resolutions are. And somewhere in this video, I'm going to be announcing the winner of last week's giveaway, so make sure you're paying attention. All right, with all that being said, good luck and let's get right into the video. All right, so let's get right into it. Step one, and this is probably not going to be any surprise to you at all, but I think the very first step in achieving that $10,000 a month profit is starting a Shopify dropshipping store. This is where most YouTubers actually started off, probably some YouTubers that you actually follow, like Bia Heza, Jordan Welch, Sebastian Georgiou, and actually myself, but there's a reason for this. One of them is it's such a low barrier to entry. You really don't need that much money to start off. Dropshipping is also a relatively easy concept. If you've been living under a rock and you don't know what dropshipping is, in a nutshell, you basically build a Shopify website, you source a product that you want to sell and you think has demand, you upload that product onto your website, you design the landing pages, make it as converting as possible. You then create advertisements and you usually run paid traffic on social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or you can go the organic route, which is zero ad spend of organic TikTok or organic Instagram Reels. And once that traffic comes onto your website and purchases that product from you, you then fulfill that product through your supplier who sends it directly to the customer. You're essentially like a marketing middleman. But with the model, you don't need any inventory at all, which is why the barrier to entry is so low and it's so relatively cheap to start. Not only can you actually make a good amount of profit coming from dropshipping, but the reason that I included it as the first step is because there are so many high income skills that you learn from running your own e-com store. From website design, ad creation, analytical skills, marketing skills, managing people, supplier negotiation, social media marketing, email marketing, SEO, and more. And I'm not going to cover everything A to Z in dropshipping in this video because I do that already on my channel, so if you're interested in it, make sure to check out my other videos. But for the sake of this argument of making $10,000 a month, let's be super realistic. If you start up a Shopify dropshipping store, let's set your goal to be $3,000 to $5,000 net profit a month. You obviously can make a lot more money depending on how much time you dedicate to this and how quickly you scale up your store. And dropshipping profit margins range anywhere from 15 to 65%. 15 on the lower end if you're running paid traffic and it's not running very efficiently, and 65 on the high end if you're doing more organic traffic, so you don't have to pay any of those advertising costs. But with organic traffic, it is less consistent and it's a little bit harder to scale if you're solely doing organic, so keep that in mind. But let's break it down. So if your goal is $4,000 a month profit on average, and let's say your average profit margin is about 30%, that means you need to generate about $14,000 in revenue on your store. And if you're selling a product that's $25, this means that you need to sell 560 units a month. But if you break that down even further, you only need to get about 19 sales a day. And this doesn't include upsells or cross sells or post-purchase. That number could get even lower if you're just trying to hit that $14,000 revenue. Now let's say you hit your average goal of $4,000 a month from dropshipping. It's not going to come come overnight, I'll be honest with you. You will have to put in some work on the front end to learn all of the systems and how the whole thing works in general, but $3,000 to $5,000 net profit is very achievable. My first successful month in dropshipping after the break-even point, I made about $15,000, give or take. And then the next month after, I believe it was around $18,000. So you can definitely overachieve this if you put a lot of time and effort into it. But for the sake of this example for 10K a month, let's go back down to $4,000 profit a month as your goal for dropshipping. Now let's say your store is up and running, it's been a few months and it's very consistent and you're making $14,000 revenue a month. Now the next step to achieving that net $10,000 profit a month is isolating the best skill that you've learned in your e-commerce journey. Out of all the skills that I mentioned before that you will learn from e-commerce and dropshipping, let's say you landed on ad creation. Let's say that you're the most interested in this, your ad creatives perform really well, you do a great job, you love editing the videos for them, you love coming up with the scripts, and your TikTok organic has been running crazy, you've been getting millions of views. This is clearly your best skill, and you need to identify this because it could be something else. It could be SEO, it could be email marketing, whatever it is, they're all high income skills, and this next step will apply to all of those. So you can now take this skill that you've learned and that you're the best at, and you can offer it as a service. And you would do so by starting an agency around this skill. You would take your resume of the stores that you've been running personally and throw them on there and show people your results and what you can do for their brand. So what exactly would you need to start this agency, and how would you do it? Well, all you really would need is to build an agency website, make sure it looks really good and credible, and you've got some testimonials on there. You probably would also need 1 to 2 contractors to help you fulfill some of the orders that are coming in. Because when you're building these online businesses, you really don't want to be working in them, you want to be owning them, outsourcing the work, and then focusing on your next income stream. And that's the beauty of online business in a nutshell. So after you establish those 1 to 2 employees, that might take you a little bit of time because you'll probably want to look for them on Fiverr or Upwork or something like that. You're gonna have to go through the interview process, make sure that they can handle the workload and do it efficiently and it's actually quality work. But after you figure that out, you're gonna want to establish your offers. These are super important because you can price things completely different than your competitor, and you really have to know what your service is worth. And you can do this by poking around at other agencies, getting quotes from them to see what they charge and what services that they offer. Then you're gonna wanna find your clients, and then after that, you obviously are gonna deliver on your service and hopefully to increase your client base as well as retain clients monthly so your revenue streams keep rising. Now for your website, you're either gonna wanna outsource it or build it yourself. It's probably easier to outsource an agency website because it is a different build than a Shopify website and you might not have that skill set. Now for this example, let's start talking about the offers that you could structure based on an ad creation agency. So if you're creating UGC content for brands, that's your service. You'd have to have 1 to 3 actors probably ready on hand to take this workload. And let's say that the brand wanted you to post 30 videos a month on their TikTok page, all each unique pieces of content advertising their product or whatever the brand is, right? I think a good place to start off if you're charging 30 videos a month because you're gonna have to pay your contracted employee and the service is pretty big and in demand right now. I would estimate that you could probably charge about $3,000 a month for that client. Now, if they're a pretty big brand, this is like chump change to them, right? $3,000 a month is only 36 grand a year, and I don't think they could find a social media manager for that cheap if they hired him in-house on like a W-2. So they're gonna like this price, but make sure that you provide a really good service. Now you can continue to stack your services. You can offer more. You can do 60 videos a month. You could do Instagram reel management as well. You can manage their entire social media account. And then you can start charging clients like 5 to 6K a month. All right, it's time to announce the winner of last week's giveaway. So the winner of the giveaway is Ahmed SF, and I'll be reaching out to you on YouTube as well as Instagram to get you your prize. So congratulations, Ahmed, and if you have not entered this week's giveaway, make sure to do so. All you have to do is leave a like, hit the subscribe button, and then leave a comment down below. All right, good luck to everyone that enters. Let's get back to the video. And this still makes sense for them because if they're a decent sized brand, they're gonna have to pay someone $70,000 to $100,000 a year to be a social media manager. But in the end, your offer all depends on what you provide. Now to look for clients, it's actually easier than you think, and it's a lot of cold emailing and cold DMs. And what I know works is people go on LinkedIn and Upwork and Instagram and look at these smaller companies or reach out to their marketing manager and just send them a cold email or DM. All you have to say is, I'm so-and-so at this agency, I'm the owner, I'd love to book an appointment with you. Here are some of my testimonials. Here are some results that I've been getting for our other clients. If you want to take all of this workload off your hands, we'd love to bring it in, take it, and really scale and grow your business. Obviously, word that email a little bit better than I just did, but you get the point. Now let's say you landed that first client for $4,000 a month. Congrats, that's a huge step. You've just doubled your income essentially. Now with dropshipping, you're making about $4,000, and with your agency, you're making about another $4,000 with only one client and not scaling your dropshipping store. Just to be ultra ultra conservative and realistic here. There's only $2,000 left to go until you're at that $10,000 a month profit. So where is it gonna come from? Well, you have two options. The first option, which is the one I would definitely recommend, and to not spread yourself too thin by creating other businesses and managing more people, would be to scale one of those two businesses that you just started. I would argue that dropshipping would probably be the easiest because when you're scaling, if you're doing paid traffic, you really just pump more money into it. Although there is a little bit more stress that comes with that to make sure your ads are working, make sure Shopify's not down, etc. But it's essentially like a one-click operation to scale, and you can also start testing more ad creatives and put more time into that, and even testing new products, building other stores, as long as your time makes sense. Or you could scale up your agency, right? You might have to hire some more contractors to keep up with the work, but I think landing a second or third or fourth client is not gonna be as hard as landing your first client. Okay, in summary, let's just say you're 4 months in now and you're making that $8,000 profit. You went from $0 to $8,000 essentially overnight in the grand scheme of things. I highly recommend you do not inflate your lifestyle, especially yet at that price point. You don't wanna go out and buy a new car, get a nice apartment. Just see where your businesses go and see how much money you can actually scale without increasing your spend. With that extra income that you're making and you didn't inflate your lifestyle, what I would recommend doing is investing it. If you're able to invest just $1,000 of that $8,000 that you've made every single month, and if you put it into something simple, I mean, you can hire someone to manage your money for you, but you can also just put some money into an ETF, such as like the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF. So since 1957, the S&P 500 has recorded an annualized return of 10.67%. This is year over year. That's pretty hard to beat. That's a great investment rate. So if you put $1,000 a month into the S&P 500 with an annualized return rate of 10.67% on average, and you did this over a course of 30 years, assuming you couldn't put more money in as your other businesses scale, to keep it simple, let's just say it's $1,000 every single month for 30 years. Your ending balance would be over $2.2 million in 30 years. Now, if you're 20, $2.2 million at 50 sounds like a long time away, but that's a ton of money that you could use for retirement or just take it out and spend it, do whatever you want with it, really. And the total interest that you would earn is over $1.8 million on just that $1,000 extra a month that you put into it. I know this is over 30 years and you might be saying, Austin, I want to get to $10,000 a month as fast as I can. Well, then this isn't the option for you, but I always recommend doing it because it's gonna set you up in the future and you're really gonna be thanking yourself later on. Now, this is the path that I would recommend everyone take if they wanted to get into e-commerce in general or just have a goal of scaling to $10,000 a month. Obviously, there are other side hustles that you could hop on to make this money, but this is what I've personally had experience with and has worked really well for me. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you're interested in dropshipping in general, again, I do have so many full tutorials on my channel, so make sure to check those out. And don't forget to enter the giveaway if you haven't done that already. As always, thanks for watching. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.